AI features are showing up everywhere, from your inbox to your design tools. Testing these new experiences, however, raises a whole host of concerns, as well as opportunities. How do you know users understand it, or even trust it, when traditional usability testing won't give you the full picture? Hi, I'm Sean Treiser, Staff Product Strategist at User Testing. Today, we're talking about testing AI features. Testing AI isn't just about task completion or button clicks. You're testing something far more complex, a conversation. So how do you make sure that your AI experience is intuitive, useful, and trustworthy? We sat down with Mike Mace, Executive Strategist at User Testing, to hear about how AI changes the rules when it comes to testing.
People respond to AI conversations, whether they're written or verbal or whatever, much the same way they respond to human being conversations, where they pick up on little nuances of wording and phrasing and stuff like that, and they form sweeping, instinctive emotional responses and judgments. It's wired into us as human beings. If you're having a conversation, you judge it in a certain way. And so they're going to be subconsciously thinking about, do they like your generative AI bot? Do they find it to be credible? Do they find it to be engaging? We're not used to testing for those sorts of emotional responses, but you need to do it.
According to Mike, we need to test AI not as a feature, but as a relationship. This is because the customer journey has evolved to where computers can now talk with and even have relationships with human beings. We can look to past examples of paradigm shifts in technology for insight. In the 1980s, Lotus Software failed to adapt when Microsoft Windows graphical user interface became the standard in how we use computers. As a result, Microsoft surpassed Lotus in the early 1990s, and well, the rest is history. AI might be new, but it presents similar paradigm shifts to technologies of the past. We can't simply test it in the same way as existing digital features and expect feedback that meets customer expectations. So how should we adjust our testing strategy? First, run multiple tests where you watch people having conversations with AI. Turn on face recording and observe how they react, what they like and dislike, and what usage patterns emerge. Second, ask people about their feelings towards the AI. Did they find it personable, respectful? Ask them how they felt about their interaction as opposed to just whether or not they accomplished a task. This will help you develop a mental model of your audience's perception of AI. Now let's hear from one of our senior UX researchers at User Testing, Taylor Cohn, on best practices for testing AI.
It tends to be more efficient if you provide goal-based tasks rather than specific success criteria. So you want to avoid giving your users or participants a single path of success. You want to provide them with an overview of an overarching solution that they can come to. It's also important to note that if you're casting a wide net for your recruitment and you're allowing individuals who are highly skeptical of AI, or just AI enthusiasts, that those perceptions will impact your data. And so it's a case where I personally recommend creating segments to have audience groups of those who are skeptics, those versus those who are enthusiasts, and the middle ground, whatever that may constitute as, because you should expect to get a big difference in data, big discrepancy in data between those two audiences.
AI testing is about more than just what works. It's about how people feel, how they interpret, and whether they trust the experience. So, what did we learn? AI isn't just a tool, it's a conversation. Testing should focus more on discovering your audience's mental model rather than verifying whether your AI feature works. So, here are some tips. First, define what you're testing, but stay flexible. Avoid rigid success criteria and instead use open-ended tasks to account for AI's unpredictable responses. Second, Create audience segments by mindset, not just demographics. Users' attitudes towards AI shapes how they experience it, so plan your tests to reflect that diversity. Third, watch how users interact and how they react. Trust and understanding show up in expressions, tone, and hesitation, not just in survey answers. That's where user testing's contributor view feature can help you more closely observe how your audience responds to your AI feature. Got questions about testing AI? Or suggestions for what we should cover next? Drop a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. See you next time.